Hi, beautiful one. And today we are talking family. Family, raising a family, maybe some do's and don'ts on what we can and can't do when it comes to raising our children. Come on, let's go. Let's have this conversation. I am NatashaJohn-Baptiste, life coach, mentor, peer mentor, and I'm here for you. As some of you may be aware, I am a mother of 3. I had a lady at one of my groups come up to me and ask me, she goes, Natasha, please, can you tell us about family and what we can do, because I need help. This is what she said. And I did point her to, I have a course on my website in regards to building strong families, and it is actually one of the courses that I run as a workshop. I will speak on some things that can help to build strong families, and really some of the things that we do as parents that can impact our children. Now, like I said, I have 3 children, and I must say that the best years for me was when they were like little. The teenage years, they were really difficult and challenging, shall I say. However, we brought them up in a Christian household. And one of the things that we always learnt was train up a boy according to the way for him, and he will never turn aside. So this meaning that if we are a good example to our youngsters, then they're going to turn out by the examples that we set. And children, they will watch us and do what we do more than what we tell them to do. So in that regard, we have to be really careful that we are not hypocrites. They can pick up on that straight away, and they will run with that, and they will know if we're lying to them. They'll know if we are genuine. They'll know if we are hypocrites and we're telling them to do something and they do the opposite. So I'd say that the first thing really is to be a good example to our children. That's the very first thing. Be a good example. And whatever we don't want our children to do, make sure that we're not doing it. Sometimes behaviour as well. They say, also another scripture is like to train, to bend a tree according to its way as well. So, and this is something that gardeners are aware of, that if we bend a tree in a specific way, it will grow that way. Okay, so we've got to start from young. We can't expect Johnny to do well when we're only trying to implement something in him when he's 10 years old. It's going to be more difficult to do that. So when they're babies, from when they are just in the womb, from when they're in the womb, we talk to them, we nurture them, we love them, because kids need that. Kids do need the love and attention. And the only reason why they mimic the parents, by the way, is because they want to be like us. Remember, a family is a community, right? And they want to be part of that community. So from when they're really, really young, commend the children, commend them, not always with an outward reward, but tell your children that you love them, hug them, kiss them, because you might think, but that's normal, that's a natural thing. I can say I've seen where young people, children, have been just treated horrendously, even living in a home where parents aren't even feeding their kids properly. Yeah, so we might think that, but I'm doing all these things. But there might be parents out there that just don't have a clue. Maybe they've not had the training, or they've not had that love and that concern when they were growing up, and then it continues. So that's another thing, is breaking the cycle of all the bad habits maybe that our parents did, things that our parents did do, and just trying our best to set a good example, like what I said, but also training them from very young. So what do we do when our youngsters, when they aren't behaving in a way that is conducive to the rest of the family, maybe they're staying out at night, maybe they're doing certain things. It could be a matter of something's going on with them emotionally, eternally, because do our children understand their emotions? That's another thing. Do they understand what's going on inside of them? You know, I highlight a lot of these things in the Building Strong Family course, and I go really in depth about these things, but obviously I have a limited amount of time on here. So if our children are acting up, say, we've got to possibly get to a root cause as to why they're doing certain things. They could be being bullied at school. They could not be happy at home. It is something that, you know, maybe we're doing things in a certain way that they don't appreciate, and we might have to change the way that we do things. Because as adults, we aren't always right. We do need to, as well, there's another thing, we need to listen to our children and take that criticism, if it is that criticism, and dig within ourselves as adults and think, oh no, do you know what, maybe I did go about doing that the wrong way, because as parents we do get things wrong as well. We don't have all the answers as parents. We don't have a book per se that is a 10 ways to bring up your child book. Maybe if we are in some form of religion, then there are ways that we are taught that way. But then if we're not, then where do you start? And I say that it is the love. It definitely is the love that you have for your children that's going to hold you in good stead. But one sad thing as well is we can overlove our children. We can smother them, that it just becomes too much for them, and they just go, again, the opposite way. So again, it's having that balance. It's really being balanced. Every family is different as well. We look a lot at psychology and the reasons why children do things. I think it's really going back to basics. And again, it is showing those children love. It's really showing those children concern. It's really showing and listening to our children, and really us being the best example that we possibly can for our kids or our children, because kids, they're not goats. So being the best that we can for our children. And if we are struggling, again, there are people that we can go to give us that help as well, because it's, if you've got one, again, even single children that are just the only child, they have their issues as well, because maybe they wanted a brother or sister, but the parents chose not to do that, and then it goes really deep. Family life goes very, very deep, and we, just by being that example, is the first step. And also read up and do research on parenting, because there are a lot of books and things out there that can help if we are having struggles and troubles with our youngsters. Yeah, there are books, but the most important thing is to sit them down and talk to them. If they don't want to sit down, what we used to do with our kids, our children, we used to go for long walks with them. We used to go on holidays together where we'd be able to have that quality time, spending that quality time and talking to our children. They're doing pretty well. I'm so proud of them. And that's another thing, letting our young children know that how proud that we are of them. But not, there's so many things, not putting pressure on them to do 100 clubs and they can only manage 5 or 3 or a few things. And we got them out there every weekend when all they maybe want to do is rest and sleep. That's one thing. We used to go out on the ministry and we was out early every single day. Our children had to be up early, and it's exhausting. So if they're tired, let them sleep. They're teenagers. There's a lot going on inside of them. You know, that's for the big ones, and then for the little ones, it's a long process. So what I might do, beautiful ones, is I may well just do a whole series on children. And I'm doing it from a perspective of being a mother. I'm not doing it from a perspective of being a life coach or a mentor in that way, but just a perspective of being a mother, a woman that's been married over 30 years, that has parented with my husband and brought up 3 beautiful children, but now we have our grandchildren and we want to instill those same values within them. But then obviously our children are the parents, so you've got to kind of take a back step and just watch and encourage. That's all that we can do. So I might just do a series. So if you'd like something like that, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely do a series on bringing up children. I hope that this has been useful, and if it has, just again leave a comment in that down below, and I'll see you next time. So you all take care, and I'll see y'all on the other side. I am Natasha John-Baptiste, life coach, mentor, peer mentor, and I'm here for you. Take care.